Hey YouTube! I come to you today with some grievous news. I just found out that my good buddy Alex over at iDesign Sound has come down with GAS, a common syndrome that affects many musicians, thousands a year. It started off pretty innocently. He had purchased a monotribe, and from there it quickly escalated from the monotribe to a Sox box to a MFB to now an MC202, and now yesterday he told me he thinks he needs a 909, and I knew that that was it. I needed to have an intervention for him, and that's what I'm going to do today. Hopefully this will be some good advice for everybody else in general about purchasing hardware and how you really don't need the hardware you think you need. Specifically, like the 909, right? It's half samples, okay? I totally get wanting to have hardware because it's fun, it's got little knobs and stuff, you know, but it's only really going to do anything different from software if it's analog. And half of the 909 is just samples. So if you're at that point already where you're like, well, I want this thing that's half samples, you might as well just get a sampler because you got more control over everything. And you have much, much more sound available to you other than the stock samples. But if you're already in the position where you're thinking you're going to buy a sampler, you might as well just jump over to software because it's so much easier to deal with than hardware samplers. Like I don't have an ESX anymore. It's a pain in the ass. It's awesome, but it's a pain in the ass. And instead I traded it for a Maschine. And I'm highly encouraging Alex to get a Maschine instead of a 909. This is actually a pretty cool device. I know you've probably seen a lot of videos of people doing all kinds of cool sampling, slicing, and finger drumming and all this. I tried that. It is pretty good for the sample slicing. That's a lot of fun. And I even got pretty serious about the finger drumming, but I ended up really hurting my wrists. So I guess it's true what they say about the gaze and the limp wrists. I don't know. But it's also got a really good step sequencer. And I'd like to demonstrate that today. You just hit the step button. And now it's in step sequencing mode. It's a little weird to get your head around at first if you're used to the layout of like 16 buttons in one row. But once you do get used to it, this is actually a good way to look at patterns and think of them in new ways. And you've got a lot of control over the sounds. It comes with just tons and tons of kits, and you can make your own. Right now I'm playing an 808 kick drum in a 909 kit. And you can change the velocity settings of everything really quickly. Like, I don't want that kick to be at full velocity anymore, so I'm just hitting half velocity, or I can fine-tune it like this. So now it's quieter, it's a ghost kick. And you can easily jump around, throw in some snares here. Let's get some rim shots in there. And once you've got the step sequence stuff, you can actually go back into the regular control mode and then play with these as usual. And that allows you to do some really cool stuff that, like set the tempo and set your speed, and it's using velocity, you see it. And you can record on top of your step sequence. And if you're going to get a Maschine at all, I highly recommend getting the full Maschine. Like, if it's a choice between getting the new Maschine that's got all the goofy colors or getting an old Maschine that's the full size, make sure you're getting one that's got the knobs, because you're going to make use of them. As you see, I've got an effect loaded up on this kit, and now I can control the effects with all of these knobs. And the micro only has one knob, and that's just not worth it. You can also sequence external gear. I've got the Minotaur being sequenced right now. It's kind of a pain in the ass. This is probably getting too loud. It's kind of a pain in the ass to put in sequences for the any kind of external gear, because you've got to go through this kind of arduous process of selecting each key. And for that, I greatly prefer using little MIDI machine for jamming, because you can just slide things around. But honestly, if you're thinking about getting a hardware solution for your drums. I really think that this is a good choice. I've had this for like 2 years now, and I'm seriously very happy with it. I haven't looked back once since trading away the ESX. Take it easy.